Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for November 9th, 2009. This is Patrick Ceresna. First off, I want to take a look at the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange for fund symbol SPY. And we more or less over the last few months have been talking about looking for a market top to develop up in this 110 to 112 area. At this point, we still favor that scenario and think that even though a market top is a process and it doesn't mean that we're outright bearish here, we just simply believe that the upside of the market is very limited and the risk reward of being long this market is minimal. At this point, one of the scenarios we talked about last week was that if this 103 to 105 zone actually held, that in fact we would have a bounce higher before another corrective wave on the downside. At this point, we continue to favor this scenario the most. We think that there's a chance that early this week we're going to have a failure in the market, which will reverse back on the downside and maybe test as low as that 99 to 100 zone. The one thing we cannot rule out, though, is the fact that we may in fact still have a double top retest to occur before we really start rolling over on the downside. We still are of the opinion and want to favor the first scenario where we fail to make a higher high and roll on the downside, but keep in mind that any immediate strength on the upside may come right back up into that 110, 112 zone. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO. And more or less, we pointed out the retracement zones on the downside where we're expecting some sort of short-term supports to actually come in. Right there, we're seeing the regional banks consolidating there. But the one thing we do want to emphasize is they have little to no follow-through on the upside while the market is actually retracing, which is actually quite negative. And so at this point, if we see a rollover in this marketplace, it's quite possible the regional banks are going to head right down into that 15, 16 focal point on the downside. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Index, which is the symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. And more or less the selling that came off of that 112 to 114 area on the upside was very intense, and the follow through on the upside is very minimal. At this point, we're looking for any rally to fail in this 105 to 108 zone that's slightly even higher than that 104 to 106 focal point. But anywhere along here, if we see a reversal back on the downside, we can easily see a push that may return this market very quickly down to the 82 to 87 zone. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is the symbol RUF. And more or less, we got a perfect test right into that 825 to 875 measured move on the downside. It slightly overshot that $9 focal point, but it did complete the measured move. At this point, we're seeing a retracing move back on the upside, but this is playing out pretty good. If in fact we see a failure here on the home builders up in this zone, we're going to probably see another good sell cycle on the downside. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is the symbol FUM. Again, we're seeing a bit of a retracing move on the upside after that very aggressive selling off that 112 to 114 focal point. At this juncture, just like all the other indices, if we continue to see even a slight rally up into this 105 zone, if we start turning around and rolling over on the downside, another good, strong corrective move is probably just around the corner. Next here, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is the symbol UKX. And the UK market has had a very, very strong rally over that July to October time frame. At this point, though, there is distinct momentum loss occurring up along here. And just similar to what we're seeing in the S&P, more than likely we are going through a topping formation up in this 520 to 530 area. If we see it roll over from this 515 area where it's roughly at, or as it approaches the 520 and comes back down, we're probably going to see a much deeper consolidation in this market. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.